want to start the show by saying Joe gave me a little sneak peek
of his tits.
Is that okay to say that?
I don't know what you're about to
sequence.
say. Oh, yeah.
So he gave me a little sneak peek of his opening sequence for his new movie, Sorority of the Damned. And
yeah.
I gotta say.
Did I send that to you?
No, you didn't.
I thought I sent it to you, too.
I gotta say.
Because I knew as soon as I sent it to you, I was like, I better send this to Tony. And then I probably smoked a joint and forgot.
Yeah, and you didn't share the joint with me.
I gotta say, I am impressed.
Thank you, sir.
It was really fucking badass.
Yeah,
nice.
You haven't seen it yet. I'm sorry. I meant to send it to you. I just forgot.
This is basically the opening scene and title sequence.
Yeah. And then it goes into the movie.
Badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Thank you,
They did a great job with it.
Thank you.
So, Chris.
Now I'm excited, man, to see the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe,
Well,
has no
I've
idea
been
what
for
the
over
movie
a year, but, you know.
2 years.
Dude, no, it isn't, dude. We
Has it been
stopped
2 years?
shooting. No.
We were only on the show. He's only been on the show for a year.
Yeah, I stopped shooting. Our last day of shooting was like December.
Sorry, Brad. We'll get to you.
16th or 18th or something. I'm sorry. It was.
It doesn't matter.
Anyways, it was
okay.
December of 20.
It doesn't matter.
2020. 2020.
It's 2 years.
But our post, it doesn't matter because our post in 2021 got fucked up because the head of our visual effects got COVID.
Yeah.
And it put us 6 months behind. So we're only technically 6 months behind. We're not 2 years behind.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say you were behind.
Right.
I just said we've been waiting for it.
Yeah,
for
kinda.
A long time.
Yeah, it's all right.
Anyway, we have a guest.
We have a guest.
Hello.
His name is Brad Leo Lyon. He's a filmmaker, and he's made quite a few films.
Brad Leo Lyon.
And he makes horror movies like we do. So it's cool.
With our pants
I thought
off?
he would be a cool guest, so I reached out to him, and he was
Absolutely
gracious enough to.
Yeah, I
come on
know
our
the
show.
man. I recognize him. I knew as soon as you said it. I was like, oh.
Almost a decade ago, you auditioned for me.
Do what?
Like a decade ago, you auditioned for
I
me.
did? For what movie?
Oh, goodness. I want to say it was College Fright Night, but that might have been a movie earlier. College Fright Night was the one with when Carradine passed away and he was our karate guy.
I don't know. When was this? What year? Give me a year.
Oh, this was before, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but we wound up speaking years later, and you had done that TV series from Netflix.
Stranger Things.
Yes. And it was prior to that, because we talked one time later, and we're like, oh, yeah, it's been like 5 years since we talked. So 5 years prior to whenever you did that.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And Brad, believe it or not, I've sent you audition tapes too.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
My apologies.
I have no idea why. For what? I have no idea
I don't
for when.
know why I would send him auditions either.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
I respect that. I said that to myself.
Yeah.
I don't remember what movie it was, but it was probably, I want to say, I don't know, a couple of years ago.
When did I don't even, did I send it in via, video, or did I do
Yes. It was a video submission.
Fuck, man.
Because we talked through email.
I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
I have not auditioned for any of your movies, Brad.
You're a
shitty actor.
Yeah, 'cause you fucking
You don't act, so, loser. I agree. I am a shitty actor. I did do pretty good in Death Blow.
Well, what do you got going on now, bro? What do you
Well, I've got a film that people want to shoot me for because I let the hurricane delay me a little bit. But the poster, cheating the wrong hand. Poster I threw in the background there, Thursday the 12th, is doing a very small theatrical run that includes 11 states. And I'm going to be on tour with that film doing Q&As in most of those states. So that one comes out. It's got,
I
some
really
classic-
meant, what do you got for me next?
Well, I'm sure I got something. The hard part in this case is you're a fellow big guy like me. So if I write anything in for myself, I'm like, oh, I've got to compete against some guy auditioning for me because he's also a black-haired guy who's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd have to write like a character, like a brother or
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
No question, because with you being an actor, I've got to ask you this randomly.
All right.
Have you in your career ever got mistaken for Jorge Garcia?
No.
Never.
Because I look like Philip Seymour Hoffman more. I'm only just recently grown out, but I feel like I'm like a Jack Black, Philip Seymour Hoffman love child. That's how I feel like people if anyone does say I look like anybody, it's Will Sasso. I get that
For some weird reason, now mind you, I'm aware of my heritage, which doesn't exactly match up. But on multiple occasions, I've received Jorge Garcia.
I can see that.
Which was just the big guy from Lost, you know?
Yeah. I love him.
And just recently, I'm at like I'm at Georgetown. I'm in your guys' town. Joe's New York Diner. I'm at Joe's New York Diner. I walk in and this girl's like, "Oh, you look like this guy from minor league." I'm like, "Oh, thanks," because I'm the guy from minor league. Right. And she's like, "And I loved him in Lost." So I actually pull him up, right? I pull up. I'm like, "Oh, you thought I looked like Jorge Garcia?" And I show her Jorge Garcia, and she's like, "Yeah, you look just like him." I'm like, "I get this other guy, Brad Lyon, too." And I show her Brad Lyon. Yeah. And she's like, different noses. Not the same. And luckily, I was smart enough to film that on my camera, so I did get that and, like, threw it up on my Instagram.
You know what I've learned, just to, like, stroke my own ego, is that in Target, in the back wall, there's a NECA session now. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, it's been
a
there
whole
forever.
NECA section.
What is it?
NECA?
Action figures.
Oh, well, collectible figures.
Okay.
2 times now, I have been recognized while standing there looking at some Friday the 13th figure by some kid or somebody coming up to get a pop of whatever Stranger Things fucking thing is. 2 times now. Once with Alexa and once with Mia. Standing there looking at my shit, and I'll look, and there'll be some, generally it's like a 12-year-old girl, and they'll just be like, and then I'll go back to my thing, and then they kind of like look at me for a minute, and then one girl backed up, and she's like, "I know you." And I looked at her, and I was like, I don't think you should say that to strangers.
Especially one, a few years older.
And then my daughter Alexa goes, "He's famous."
No.
Right? And I said, "I'm not famous. Hardly." And the girl goes, "I know you. You're on Stranger Things." And I was like, "Who told you to say that?" Because first of all, it's not that big of a role, right? I don't think I'm that recognizable outside of it unless I'm at a convention with a banner with my face from Stranger Things. Do they go, "I know, yeah, all right, yeah, cool"? But 2 times now, people have recognized me at Target in that aisle looking at action figures. So I stand there now a lot.
He just stands there all day.
Yeah, I go to Target a lot now. I was like, "Why are you always at Target?" I'm like, "No reason."
He has a poster in his pocket. I'm this guy.
Yeah.
I'm this guy.
He's got a sign on his back. Yeah.
Or his own T-shirt.
Anyways,
he's got a sign on his back. Ask me if I was in Stranger Things season 2.
I mean, truth be told, I did contemplate wearing one of my own T-shirts before I came on air.
Nice. Yeah, that's something I don't ever do. I don't want to I don't want to advertise my own shit. I'll advertise your shit. Your shit, his shit. But I don't want to wear my own shit unless it's like my production logo. Mm-hmm. And even then, I feel like a fucking jackass.
Right.
I respect that.
I wear my jerseys all the time.
I know. You look like a fucking cockfuck.
Well,
okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still going to wear
them.
them.
I'm jealous of your I love your fucking jerseys, dude. I just don't wear jerseys. I'm not one. Excuse me. I don't even watch sports. Yeah, I don't care about them at all. Not even a little bit. And 2, Leanne doesn't like sports either. So I'm not going to wear a jersey because I don't give a fuck. And I'm not going to wear it because it doesn't turn her on. So.
Segues into Brad. How did you get started? Sports.
So how did you get started?
I was failing miserably. Really, really bad at playing football for a living. And then some movie people were like, "Hey, you really suck at this, like, playing football for a living. Want to do it, like, in film where you would actually be good because we'll write it that you're good?" I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds better." That's the general gist. I could tell the more elaborate story that involved the guy you look like, Jack Black.
Oh, okay. Why would you do that? Please tell us.
So I'm in this office in Flint, Michigan, and I get a phone call from the president of the Visitors Bureau, Jerry Preston. He's like, "Hey, I've got a couple of these guys here that want to meet with you. Talk with your dad. He says you're at the office. Can you meet with these guys?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, So I'm sitting there, and in walks that Ron Reiner guy, the Oscar winner, Oscar nominee, Scott Marshall from Happy Days, and then Michael Mendelsohn worth $1.8 billion. And when a billionaire walks in, you're like, "Hey, do you want me to get out my knee pads, start cuffing the balls right now? Like, whatever you need, I got you." So they start telling me about this amazing movie they've got with this crazy epic cast. It's got Christina Ricci, Matthew Lillard, Anne Margaret, Cedric the Entertainer, Bill Engvall, Marty Cleaver, just huge cast. But they had a problem where an incident that I probably can't get into occurred, and to my understanding, Jack pulled out like 2 days before filming. So they were stuck without a lead, and the only guy willing to take on a lead role in a film with that big of a cast was this guy named Owen Benjamin, who was like 6'7". Now we all know him, probably got canceled since then, but back then he was a pretty cool guy. And as a 6'7" guy versus a guy Jack Black comes up to like here on me, it just didn't make sense in the script. So they wanted to rewrite it and make him into a football star. So they came to me and said, "Hey, could you sports coordinate a football scene for us? Help us retweak it and write it real quick. Get us some football players, cheerleaders, a stadium, so on and so forth." And I'm like, "Well, yeah. When does this get going?" And they're like, "Call time's 8 a.m. tomorrow." I'm like, "Well, I'll get there bright and early, start making phone calls." And he's like, "We need to start shooting some of that tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh, wait." But somehow we pulled it off. The movie All's Fair in Love, got out there, and one thing led to another. It wasn't necessarily a highly successful film, but it was a larger budget movie, and when you work on those, it helps project to other movies.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it works.
Well, that's the boring story of it.
So when did you actually start writing scripts?
A handful of months later, I get a call from a certain member of that group, and he says, "Hey, you're doing that weird minor league stuff, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, what makes it weird?" He's like, "Well, I heard of baseball." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I get it. All right, go on." He's like, "Could you write a script about it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so. Like, why me?" "Well, like, hey, you were a published author before." I'm like, "Oh, that's a skeleton in the closet. It's in like a cheerleading book." But regardless, he's like, yeah, I know.
I have a similar book called Memoirs of a Cheerleader. It's from when I was in high school.
All goes quiet, and I thought it was serious. So yeah, I wrote that. A handful of months go by. I didn't think anything of it. I thought I, sent him a piece of crap, and then he calls me and says, "Hey, you want to produce this? We got a possible union strike, and there's a nice incentive in Michigan. You want to come out and make this movie?" And I'm like, yeah. So like, what do I do? Like, do nothing? He's like, "We'll EP you, and you can help hire people like in your state, because we don't know people in your state, and we don't have to fly in people from LA for that, and we make it cheaper."
Oh yeah.
Like, all those arguments sound great. So,
Yes, sold. I'm on a plane already. Thank you.
yeah.
So
What
what?
movie was that?
Pardon?
What was that?
That was my game.
What was it?
That was my kick in. That was minor league.
Oh, minor league.
Yeah.
Now, is the community up there is there actually a community of filmmaking up there?
And back then in Michigan?
Yeah.
It followed.
So at that time, it was way bigger than Georgia now.
Yeah.
Because back then, we had a 40% film incentive. So we were King Kong for a few years.
Yeah.
Everything was made there. I worked on Real Steel there. We had Transformers, like 2 and 3. I think we had the remake of Red Dawn, which I flubbed a horrible, embarrassing audition on. We had just a ton of work. So for the time, we had a lot of people, and my company was doing okay. We're producing films off the model back when we still had home video, which that was a big learning curve as we lost that, because everything I produced was under the concept of, okay, we still have 30,000 retailers and rentals left. If we can make it under this budget and we work with these direct buyers, we can make a profit, so on and so forth. So the curve really hit me when that lost. But once we had that cap, everyone left. I was one of the last union producers in the state. And at one point I had to do a movie up there where I just couldn't even find people in Michigan to hire. So beforehand, yeah, we had an amazing industry. And then within months of them capping it, everyone was going.
Yeah, that's generally how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's all kind of moving from Atlanta as well. Atlanta's like starting to lose a lot of people, but that's more like political shit than anything else.
Yeah.
But,
and New Mexico gave them that 10-year guarantee.
Yeah, New Mexico's great, man. That's where I want to go. That's where all the I just shot there in March. It's the incentive is 35%, and that's where it should be. It's beautiful there. It doesn't get too hot during the summer a little bit, but I've been there like 6 times. Anyways, thank you. I've been paid by the Albuquerque Visitors Bureau. Please visit albuquerque.com.
That's where you should have made the left.
Yeah. See, in St. Louis.
I don't see why Florida doesn't do anything.
Because they don't care.
Well, you had one, if you don't forget. You guys just had a governor who decided to say, hey, you know what? We're the mighty Florida. We don't need it. People will still come to Florida. What happened 1 year later? Everyone left.
No, here, the real problem.
The thing is here we got Disney World, we got Busch Gardens, we got Universal Studios. That's what brings all the money in here. All the beaches.
They just raised their tax rate. They might leave.
I talked to legislators, man. I've talked to these people. The issue isn't anything other than stadiums, man. Football. That's all Florida is known for.
Right.
We have like 13 teams here.
Yep.
And like 40 fucking stadiums.
Yep.
That's all they want to do in Florida. Football and tourism. They don't give a fuck about
They don't give a shit about movies.
That's minor potatoes. Man, they don't give a fuck about that.
But it could be a lot more.
They don't care.
They don't care.
It could be more than sports.
Man. You know how much money they make off of liquor at a stadium?
Yeah. Shit.
Well, the guy who's running against DeSantis right now was trying to campaign on it a little bit, but he doesn't seem to have much of a shot regardless.
There's not enough artists in the area. It's all retirees. It's not California where you go to be an artist. It's not Austin where you go to be an artist.
Florida, you come to retire.
Florida, you come here to fucking
fish,
and fucking die.
Well, Miami's for models.
Come here to fish. Go to
Miami's its own country,
I know.
dude.
I know.
Miami's Cuba. If anybody,
And you are the number 2 porn state.
I know, man.
Yeah,
It took me a long
clubs.
time to get us there.
That's good.
But I mean, there's a lot of
I don't
opportunity.
give a shit about movies here.
They don't, man.
This is a great place to get started doing commercial. We do a lot of commercials here.
Yeah.
It's a good place to get started doing commercials and shit like I do, little small baby movies, and that to build your resume and then fucking move to LA.
You don't think if they did incentives here, Disney wouldn't come back here and do movies, do all their
I don't
movies?
care.
They're gonna stay in where they are in California.
Where
Why
they're
would
taxed at a 50% rate. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Heck, honestly, they don't even produce that much in California anymore.
Yeah.
Their highest production area was originally the 2 studios that they leased out in Georgia.
Yeah,
And now they just
stuff's in Georgia.
licensed a 10-year deal in New Mexico.
Until they lose that.
Listen, Netflix just bought a studio, Albuquerque Studios, ABQ Studio, in New Mexico for $100 million like 3 years ago. They're moving into that thing. Netflix is moving to New Mexico.
Mhm.
That's where they produce all their shit.
Yeah.
Same with Amazon. Amazon's getting a studio there too. I only know that from Jim Burleson out of New Mexico. He's done like 4 movies for them already this year.
Yeah.
I produced 4 movies for them, and he's like, dude, they're gonna build a studio here. Like Amazon's coming in. Amazon and Hallmark and Hulu, even Paramount Plus, they all have this new model of $150,000 feature films. Crank them out. You get 5 out a year, and they just got content on their shit that people can watch, and they're just trying to keep people in this fucking.
Yeah.
It's a fucking machine. And it's horrible. Hallmark is the worst at it.
It's terrible. Content
Yeah.
sucks.
Made a mistake of working
You
with
can
them.
scroll through Netflix for 2
Oops,
hours,
that
and
one.
it's just the same bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Yeah,
nonsense after nonsense.
Well, people are just starving for content,
we
so
want
they'll
good
watch
content.
everything.
Yeah, but we want good content.
Well,
man. Like every once in a while,
No,
something
no
will
one's
pop on
pressuring them
Netflix.
to do so. No one's pressuring them to do so. If people
Right.
start unsubscribing and doing all that, then they'll be forced.
We're a generation.
And plus, you got to think about our own work. So many people hate the shit we do. There wouldn't be any viewers if they won't watch some of our slot.
Well, I mean, yeah. Good argument.
Hate to admit it, but
Yeah.
It is true.
But I also think if they had the incentives, we can actually produce bigger and better projects.
oh, 100%. That's the reason why we're able to produce such larger budget films back in Michigan.
Yeah.
Because our finance model was built off agreements with small banks where they're saying, hey, we're comfortable giving you $749,900 because we know we're getting up to 40% of it back by the state.
Yep.
We're averaging like 29% back, but they were happy because it felt like a safe investment.
Yeah. And like I said, I think that it's a huge miss that, especially somewhere like Florida, because we have like every type of landscape you could possibly think of here.
Other than the foliage,
Right.
it makes it hard.
I remember I just went hiking on a mountain yesterday.
No, I'm saying instead of mountains, but you have farmland, you have beaches, you have like lakes, you have literally so many different like type of scenarios where big productions can
Yeah, man, dude.
Be produced.
If you could get a module going with a backed investor for, let's just say, $5 million, you could make 2 or 3 movies here.
Yeah.
Florida-centric. Easily. But you're not going to because there's no incentive.
Right.
If someone gave you $5 million and said, I need you to make 3 movies, where would you make them? Here?
Not here.
Right.
Oh,
You go to like New Mexico or
Georgia,
fucking
New Mexico,
Georgia.
California.
Yeah, I would.
Well, the first thing I do is argue for more than 3 because I want to get under that like 750 mark for the signatory reason, so everyone gets cheaper.
Yeah.
That little area between 750 and 2.5 million, man, it's like so close to the max anyway. At 2.5, it's just
it's ridiculous.
God, if I can climb under it.
Yeah, I want to stay like under 2 million. You know, the last one I did was 1.2. But I want to stay under that 2 million, 750, right in there.
Mm-hmm.
That mark. You know.
I wish there was another contract right there. You know, right in between the 750 and 2.5 area. That'd be nice.
Yeah. No, because we gotta. You know, what is it over 2.5 is now what?
1,080 a day for union actors.
What's
Half the crew
tier?
is like starts at about $700 a day.
Is that just ultra? That's just low.
No, that's union minimum 1,080, I believe.
No, at 2 million, that's considered a SAG low.
No, modified low cuts off at 2.5.
Oh, so it's modified low.
Yep.
Okay, and then at 750 and below, that's ultra low.
Ultra low cuts off at
250.
oh goodness, I believe that's up to 749.99
Yeah.
is ultra, then modified low, then low, and then base budget.
Yeah. Anything under 750 is considered trash.
That's
Basically.
where I like to play.
What's 3 called?
3 million?
No, 3,000.
That's trash.
That's called a
Great
Yeah.
budgeting.
It's called a dumpster goblin.
dumpster budget.
Yeah.
I mean, I did buy his movie for $35.
Yeah, you did.
Well, there you go.
See?
Now, why can't
I
you
have a
just do
customer
that
right
100 times?
Exactly. That's the
Which one?
Oh, I bought Cannibals, the naked cannibal.
Oh yeah, I'm in that.
here.
I'm in that.
Nice.
Discovered.
Yeah.
Guess what I just discovered?
What?
All contracts for 100 tiers are over. I own all the intellectual property again. So I own all of it. It's all mine again.
So make a sequel.
I already have one written.
Nice.
I'm not going to go look for the funding. Because who's going to fund? I don't want. Because then what's going to happen is I know that Terrifier took our 100 tiers.
Yeah.
Now they made it 2.
It's all about
it's doing
Terrifier
really
now,
fucking
man.
great. If I come out
Crushing.
and make 100 tiers too, they're going to be like, oh, you're just
you
copying
copied.
us.
Right.
And I'll be like, I'll put you in a fucking ring, bitch, and we'll talk about it.
I don't know. You know, that buzz could actually help because now there's so many more people interested. Like, oh, this is what can be done with 200
It's
grand.
unbelievable.
There might be more Kickstarter buzz or Indiegogo buzz.
That's the problem is that I would just remake it. I wouldn't do it too.
Yeah.
I'd remake it and cast a younger, different looking
Or a
Gertie.
prequel.
Not even a prequel. I'd want to do because then I'd have to include the girl.
It's all about reboots now, man.
No, I just want to remake it. A whole new cast, new direction. But is it worth it? I don't think so. I don't know.
Only if you love the film, man. Only if you love it enough.
I don't
Then
know
you
if
think
there's
you can
that
turn a
many people
profit.
out there who love it.
It's a gore fest, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what people like
Dude,
about
the second-
Terrifier. It's a
The second
no
one
story
is,
gore fest.
dude.
Yeah, even with the
attempt.
attempt at a story in part 2, I'm just like,
I haven't even seen. I haven't seen two
In
yet.
100 Years 2, I wrote that Gertie was now like this underground worshipped icon because of all the room, like kind of like a John Wayne Gacy, but people took it a little further. And now every Halloween, there's like this Gertie parade, and everybody's dressed up like Gertie. And that's how the movie starts. Gertie, you find out he's alive. He walks out into this parade, and the cops are chasing him. So the cops, they see this FBI come after this clown who looks like Gertie. They don't know what's happening, but they're all carrying real butcher knives. Those fucking cleavers. And it becomes this, like, cops versus clowns brawl in the street. That's the opening. Yeah, it's fucking cool, man. It's cool, dude. And I had fucking Christina's alive. She's in a mental asylum. He goes and gets her out of the mental asylum. She's got a fake leg now. Like her leg got fucking tore off when she got ran over. Dude, it gets crazy. Crazy. Dude. He dresses up all these people like him in this underground like sewer system and has them all tied up in attack positions.
Did they see Michael Myers in there anywhere?
And as they come out, as the FBI are coming in, they see all these gurneys look like they're attacking. They start shooting all these innocent people. It's like, anyways, but it'll never get made.
Man. That negative.
Well, I don't want to make it. I don't want to do that.
That's why.
Well, that's the key. Yeah, if you don't want to, then no.
Yeah,
if you want to, you can make it happen.
20 years old. You know?
Anyway, regardless.
Sorry to go on a tangent about me.
So Brad, what do you got going on now?
Yeah.
So I am horribly
before.
trying to finish this film called Killer Keg. Killer Keg was just supposed to be a fun kind of, if you will, tribute in a way to like the Evil Bongs type of franchise.
Yeah.
It was like Groundhog's Day meets Happy Death Day. A group of friends decide to throw a guy a party who just got dumped. And the keg they come across to have at the party causes them to relive the same day over and over again. And each new day, a new person disappears.
When did you start writing that one? When did you start?
So I started writing that one years ago. Not that long ago, but like 2019-ish.
I think that's the one I put an audition in for.
Yeah, we originally shot the film.
Yeah.
And we shot it in 2020.
You suck.
And got hit with the pandemic like everyone else.
Yeah.
Thank God.
That's when we made Naked Cannibal Campers.
Yeah. I read that on the making of.
Yeah.
So I went to make this film. We got hit with that. About 7 months later, we come back and we get to like shoot again. Not because Florida was shut down. We could have went back to work in a month, but because the unions that we were working with was not going to let us go back to filming. So once we were finally able to, and we were able to steal some people back, and we shot it out, and we got this movie done, and it's 2021, and we're going into the editing room, and we finish it up at the end of the year. All of a sudden, I look at this film, and I'm like, man, I actually kind of like this movie, and I'll be the first man. I've hated some of my films. I hate Little Creeps. I think it's terrible. It's my most popular movie, and the continuity was just trash. From the standpoint of the actors, even though we tried everything to match their hair and just do everything we could, it's just, you could tell it was 7-8 months later for some of them, and everything takes place in the same day.
Yeah.
So I sat there, I'm like, I'm either going to release this and this is going to be bad. And I hated myself for years after releasing a couple films where I'm like, God, this could have been so much better. So finally I was like, screw it. I'll redo this damn thing and I'll fund it myself. I'll pay for whatever we got to do. We'll reshoot it. And then we started shooting it. And then this hurricane hit. And it took out our beach house on Sanibel Island completely.
Wow.
And it wrecked part of our restaurant that we're filming in. The coffee shop seems to be okay, but we're already out, multiple locations. So now the only real answer from a continuity standpoint is either really ruin the script or reshoot a whole bunch again.
Oh, yeah.
Tough spot.
It's a fun film. It's got a guy who's filming in your guys' city, I think, Jeremy London from Mallrats.
Oh, yeah.
He's in it. Brink Stevens is in it. Some other people I'm trying to blank because I'm thinking of their names right now.
Yeah, Jeremy London's ex-wife, Juliette Reeves, is my age, or was my agent before all that shit went down the fence.
Interesting.
Small world.
Yeah.
Very.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you got going on, sir?
Me?
Yeah. What's
Well,
happening?
websites, photo shoots, and advertising.
Nice. Great. You sound real corporate.
Well, corporate keeps the bills paid, right?
I guess.
Sir, how about you? You wrapping up on Death Blow?
Well, Death Blow's done. We're showing it at T-Buff, the Tampa Bay Underground Film Festival, on December 2nd. Is playing at 9:15 at night. It's in Newport Richey.
Yeah.
We're gonna launch our Indiegogo on the 10th, or hopefully between the 10th and 15th if our poster ever gets finished. Yeah, I've had a hell of a time getting a poster done.
Yeah, I just got all the images last night.
But then, no, I'm obviously.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Why aren't you done yet?
I know.
What kind of
No,
turnaround
it gave
is
me, like,
this?
4 hours.
I know.
Like, come on.
What kind of turnaround is this? Like, come on now.
But I do have some really great ideas.
Stop smoking so much weed and
That
you can
helps
get
me
shit
make
done.
Blasphemy.
posters better.
I mean, the key on that stuff is
Yeah,
pretty good.
I'm excited.
What other stuff did you do with this?
What's that?
I was asking him what other posters did he do for you, because the key art on some of those were pretty good.
Mark Schoenbach did Die Delta Pi for us, and then his prices just like went out of sight, so we can't afford them anymore. And we're like, you want how much? That's like half our budget. But then there's a guy named David Royal that he's done our last few Naked Camp Campers That's Dead, and I've tried getting him to do this one, and it's just hasn't been working. But I don't know, whatever. But we got Body Farm coming up, which we're shooting in the studio here. That's in December. And then I'm putting together a vampire movie for February. And Sean's got a movie called Swamp Woman that we're doing in March. And then I just got me and Rick Danford are going to team up for the first time. And he's writing a script right now. We're going to shoot in April.
Is it like
so it's fucking
some other
busy.
remake of a...
No, it's
He called me to do a Chucky thing, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I'm friends with Alex, so I'm not gonna do anything.
it's
And he lives right here, right?
type thing.
Alex lives in like St. Pete, does music or something,
Yeah,
right?
Alex lives
He
here.
lives in Clearwater. Yeah, he has a
Clearwater.
studio in Clearwater.
But yeah, it's supposed to be like about a grandfather clock that someone finds at a yard sale, and it's like a gateway to hell or some shit. I don't know. I read the first few pages yesterday.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty
Sweet.
cool.
And that's the key. If you can get through the first 3 pages and you like it, you're
Pump
good.
them out.
I'm in Body Farm.
Yeah, Joe's in Body Farm.
Is some character.
Scraping from the bottom of the
Who
barrel.
am I?
Wait.
You are Dave, the
Dave.
guy that works at the morgue that brings the body parts and turns into a monster guy or something.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, I know. I figured you had.
Read scripts. We don't
Please-
do that
Please
here.
know you're lying.
I know I always.
Especially when we're working on the film.
We do it right before the scene.
I'll fucking.
I found out the hard way how Christopher Walken does his impressions of scripts or dialogue.
Oh boy. Doesn't he read them like right before the scene goes?
No, he takes.
No,
he takes all
that would have been maybe a little better.
He takes all the punctuation.
I'm on this film called Kill the Irishman, right?
Yeah.
And I'm making a complete ass of myself because I'm at base camp, right? And we're waiting for the shuttle to come. And there's a dog. And I'm like, who brought a dog? And it's barking, like, it's just barking so loud. And I'm just like, man, that's crazy to bring a dog. But this is a very smart dog. Because this dog heard me, assumed I was talking shit, and started barking even louder. Like, really bad. I'm like, what the f-? So I got louder. I'm like, are you shitting me? This dog's talking shit to me? And then it got louder. I'm like, this dog, right? Next thing I know, the door slams open, starts bouncing. And out walks Christopher Walken in a robe with his hair like afroed out all to hell, right?
Yep.
And I'm just kind of ducking, like just looking down, right? And I'm freaked out. Like, I'm like, oh shit, I think he's going to come whoop my ass. And I'm not punching Christopher Walken. I'm not being the guy like kills an 80-some-year-old man. Like, he's going to whoop my ass and I'm going to take it, you know? So I'm just looking down at the ground. And he's like storming that direction. And while I'm staring there, like, instead of like reaching my hand out like the other smart people next to me, I'm just looking down, and I swear one of his balls fell out of like whatever he had on. I don't know if he has on underwear or boxers or what, but just one like slid out, and I'm just looking back and forth, and it's just bouncing back and forth. I realize now I'm being hypnotized by like one of Christopher Walken's balls. So I'm just freaking out, like, holy shit, it's just ball. You know? Like, I'm just lost, you know? And then I look up and everyone's already shaking hands with the guy, and the shuttle bus comes, so I jump on the shuttle bus. Like, I'm freaked out. I'm sitting there all like, oh my goodness, I'm going to get my ass kicked. Christopher jumps on the damn shuttle. And he sits right down next to me. He's kind of like staring at me, right? And I don't make any eye contact because I'm scared out of my ass. So I'm like, this is it. This is over. I came here to hire a producer from this movie, Tommy, Tara Reid's brother. And I'm about to like cause a major, incident on his own film set, you know? So we get to the house that we're filming at, which is in like downtown Metro Detroit. And I jump out, and the location PA, you can hear us talking to someone. He's like, yeah, we've got Christopher here. Is he in the wardrobe? Yeah, he's in the wardrobe. He's got the house coat, something afro. I'm like, yeah. Usher him to set. I'm like, oh, God, thank God he's pulling him away, and wow, that was his wardrobe. So he takes him, and finally I run into Tommy on the way back and start talking to Tommy. I'm like, look, bro, I am sorry for whatever I did to offend, him over his dog. And he's like, bro, you don't have a dog. I'm like, wait, what do you mean you don't have a dog? He's like, yo, are you the guy who didn't shake his hand? I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, I just heard barking, and he's like, bro, that's his voice lessons. Like he warms up his voice by barking to get that gruff. And I'm like, well, is that how he gets the weird pacing? He's like, no, actually our assistant, he always has an assistant take out all the punctuation in the script. So he gets the gruffiness from barking and removes all the punctuation from the script. Well, he doesn't, assistant does. Yeah. So he learns it without knowing where the pauses and beats are supposed to be.
That's weird.
So that's my Christopher Walken story.
That's great acting.
Wow.
That was Kill the Irishman?
Kill the Irishman, yeah.
I saw that. Did that have Al Pacino in it?
No, you're thinking the other one. This is the one with Val Kilmer.
Yeah, you're talking about the big one with Scorsese.
Oh, Val Kilmer.
No. There's one with Christopher Walken. And I want to say Al Pacino or one of those guys. Movie was fantastic all the way up until the very end. And then they did this shot of the three dudes shooting up into a balcony or something. I can't remember this movie. And I was like, God, dude, they destroyed the whole movie in that one shot at the very end.
I don't know.
But Christopher Walken was in it. I love him. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's amazing. I just wish I would have made friends with him and not,
He won't remember.
No.
That's what I go on. I had, which one is David Keith? Is he in Nope?
David Keith?
Or is that Keith David?
David Keith is the guy that played the father of Cameron Diaz in Something About Mary.
Right, him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also in a bunch of horror movies. He was in Nope.
Done.
Yeah, he was at Gasparilla Film Festival. Maybe it was Sunscreen. Doesn't matter. I was there, just shooting the shit with Tyler Martinowicz. Whoever it was Gasparilla, because he was going in for a panel in the theater. Well, my job was to just kind of hang out with him, talk shit, whatever, fucking. So he's got like 15 minutes, so he's got to get on. I notice he's starting to meander further and further away. Mm-hmm. And I was like, kind of like wrangling him back, and then he runs into like these two women, and they start talking. And he's getting into it. I can hear him, man. He's just like, "That's what I do, baby." You know what I mean? And I was like,
he was shafting that shit.
So I'm just gonna sit there, and I see Tyler, and he's like, "We need him now." And I'm like, "Hey Keith, we gotta go, buddy. We gotta get you on thing." And he's like. So then Tyler, it's like 10 minutes past him supposed to be on stage. And he's like, you need to tell him to stop talking.
Man's trying to get laid,
right
man.
over here. So I walk up to him, I tap him on his shoulder, I said, hey, so we gotta go. We gotta get on this stage. And he goes, dude, he's tall, man. And this is all I get from him. Motherfucker! It's a weird 10 minutes past your time on stage. And then he was like, oh. And then he like trotted down the fucking thing, but like I thought for sure he was gonna give me a fucking punch. In the head. And then maybe my eyeballs. So
fun times.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think you enjoy more? Do you actually enjoy writing movies, writing scripts?
Was that to me?
Yes.
So I would say, I hate to admit this, but it's probably my strength and the things that I'm better at, I probably like doing the least. Mm-hmm. So I'm strongest at writing, and I find it so time consuming that it bores me too much.
Yep. I'm the same way.
But I'm good at it. Acting's more of a vacation, like there's no stress if you just get to act. You're your character, live your character, Study the craft, study the role, understand who he is, understand what they want out of you, and work towards creating that. It's a lot less pressure than line producing or directing something. So that's a nice vacation. But directing, I love creating that like world. Like bringing something to life, like this entire world in my imagination and giving it life and making it exist. Like that's such a beautiful opportunity that I'm so blessed and thankful to be able to do. So I would say I'm most privileged and enjoy doing that from that perspective, but is without question the hardest.
Yeah. Directing, I'm not really a fan of it. There's too many things to have to worry about, like pre-production, post-production, production, and then coordinating all that. That's just something I'd rather not. Like I'd rather just act or write or, and I'll do post. That's about it. Like I don't like directing. I don't think I would want to do that. It's not something that because I've seen it. I've been on sets, and it's just no, not for me.
I get that completely. That's how I feel about your job when it comes to editing. Like, because I hate when like an elbow's right here and then right here. I'll spend hours like, can we reframe this? How much am I losing? What are we going to do? How much footage is there? Is there something else? Like, I will take days to do a 2-minute scene if it's just little pieces like that I hate jump cuts, so I don't let them exist when I can avoid it.
Yeah, and there's just too much pressure on you too, like especially from producers and I mean, if you're low budget, you don't have to really worry about that. But if it's like
or the exact opposite, because sometimes they expect the world out of you with no budget, so you can't actually go get the tools you need to make it awesome. Right. So they're freaking out, like, why doesn't this look amazing? Well, because I've got $2,000 to edit this.
Well, that's what's funny is we made Deathblow for $2,600.
God, that's amazing.
And we shot it in 4 days. And when I'm editing, I feel like people compare it to, $5 million movies. And
100%.
I'm so proud of what we accomplished with literally fucking nothing. Yeah. And like I can't wait for people to see it. And I'm just, I don't know, I'm really happy with it the way it came out. But you also have to keep in mind that we didn't have $1 million for it. Mm-hmm. And you feel
and it's hard to make people understand what that means, the difference that means. Like people who aren't from film don't grasp that. They don't understand. Like this means the number of days are smushed into so few. The number of script pages are are astronomical on one day. Performances can't be great because you have to get through 10 pages. Like it's just. And then trying to explain to people why this doesn't look as cinematic. Well, I had 7 pages to shoot in a 14-hour day. It should have been a 10-hour day. Yeah. And even just expressing that to a person, they have no idea. They have no concept. They're just like, it still doesn't look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
When you watch Naked Cannibal Campers, we shot that in 5 days.
5 days, yeah.
5 days, and I think the budget
our budget was $3,500, I think. I think it was more than what we usually do because we had to rent the cabins for 4 days or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was like $3,500.
Yeah, so when you watch that, like, just keep in mind, like, we did that in 5 days and
$2 effects. Yeah, Sean's the master of the $2 special effects. Like
that's great.
He can make stuff with like literally nothing. He goes, I got blood, I got some dough, and I got some oatmeal. Let's make cuts. You know? And it's just like,
I like it.
Wow, that's crazy.
And no time to shoot it with 1 or 2 angles.
Yeah, what did you think of Naked Cannibal Campers? No.
So I knew going into it that you made films at a relatively extremely low budget. I don't think I was aware it was $2,500 or $3,500.
Yeah.
So that is a whole different concept of how fast you had to get all that done. So that's crazy. That's highly impressive. I enjoyed it from the perspective of what it was, but man, thinking that it was $2,500 or $3,500 or anything under $5,000. Like, that just blows me away. I mean, that's the number of days you shoot a short film. And you shot a feature film. Right. Yep. To accomplish that, that's amazing. Good for you.
So we've just come up with this formula, and our movies are profitable. I mean, they're not, like, making tens of thousands of dollars, but we're profiting and able to make more, and that's what we like doing. Like, I'm not in this to get rich. I'm in this because I enjoy it. I enjoy, like you said, I enjoy looking at a bunch of words and, like, making it alive, and I love that whole thing, and it's so cool. But one of the frustrating things is when you're reading or writing your script or reading your script, you have a vision in your head of what you want it to be. And, with my stuff, it's just like half of it's impossible to make it like that because of money. It's just.
No, I completely relate. And I'm shooting things when I think is insanely low when I'm shooting some for, 100 or 200 grand. And I'm crying that I can't shoot the things I want to. I shot this movie Thursday the 12th, which is coming out. My favorite scene in the whole script was the first thing I had to get rid of because it was a scene that took place at a circus. I'm like, this is the most expensive thing we got. I loved it, but I'm like, we have to cut this. This eats up, way too much of the budget.
Yeah,
it's tough. Man.
So let me ask you a question. So say you have a $150,000 budget, how do you make that money back?
So 2022 now? It wasn't that long ago, 8, 9, 10 years ago, we still had family video.
Right. And I get
we
that.
still, we still had the retailers, what have you. So we did a lot of math based off of, roughly speaking, 30,000 retailers and rentals combined, which include like deals we'd have with family video where they had like 800 stores, but we, gave them X number more copies. So now we had to break it down to the point of what is left for us. And we had to change our model a bit. And for a while, I was getting my butt kicked. I was like, man, this is a whole new world. But, part of it came down to like understanding VOD, starting to understand where we were making a little bit of money and ignoring like, 12 a.m. broadcast rights for 90 days with HBO where I'm like, oh, 15 grand. What do we care about 15 grand? But now that 15 grand is highly important. So now we're breaking all this down to where like, okay, we make this much on average off of VOD. We make this much off average off of, whatever it winds up being, a broadcast deal with HBO. Then we start going down to what's left for retailers. So we really pinpoint what distributors we work with that's still releasing hard copies at Walmart, because you have 4,100 stores and Blu-rays and DVDs on at Walmart. I know people are like, home video's dead. They're still buying,
right,
which means there's still potential profit. So my current model still has that being like that last surviving niche. So if we line up those pieces, everything beyond that winds up being close to helping break even. And one of the things that we found that really helped that was a limited DCP like theatrical run, because the moment we're able to say, hey, this was in 20 theaters, maybe these 10 4-walled, but these 10 were actually regular runs, And once you had that, there were a couple distributors that opened the door for you just to hear, just to go ahead and be like, oh, who are you? Let's talk. What you got? And that enabled us to do a lot more. And then back in the day, because Little Creeps was terrible. Like, I was brokenhearted. Like, I was so proud that we finished the movie, but it was not what I set out to make because so many things happened 2 days before we were filming. But so I was really proud to get through it. But that was one of those films where I also started to realize that I can also do screenings of the film theatrically. And as long as we haven't streamed yet, because we make the least money off streaming, whether it's releasing to Netflix, who's going to give us, $4,500 for 3 years, and then they can drop you every 90 days. Or it's Amazon at 9 cents per hour viewed or some crap. Once I realized like if you give them a certain subject and you hit a couple of the festivals or a couple of the conventions and get just a kind of little buzz with maybe a Fangoria or Rue Morgue. I really like the guys over in the UK and Scream. You'll get enough of a buzz where you'll show up and you'll rent you'll 4-wall and you'll rent a theater for $500, $400 for screening. And you'll sell every ticket at $15 to $20 a pop if you say, hey, I'm showing up for a 20-minute Q&A. So a lot of times I can just tour that film and 10 screens adds me another, 25 grand to whatever we make.
Yeah, that's our problem here is we don't have any theaters that charge that much. They're all like AMC and Cobb and all that, and they're all like $1,800.
Shockingly, you can get AMC to do it pretty cheap. You can get them to rent out a theater for $350, $450 on a Wednesday or a Tuesday. Yeah, now realize it's a Wednesday or Tuesday, so you have to get the people there.
I thought they only allowed like 20 people in or something.
I think that was like some sort of COVID thing when they were doing the $99 theaters thing.
Mm-hmm.
Regal was kind of good at it. I don't do a lot with them, but Oh, B&B theaters were fantastic about it. There's a chain up in the Midwest. Oh gosh, I can think of some of the names of theaters like Cinema Hollywood, but that's not the name of the chain. They're fantastic with it. There's just a lot of great theaters to work with that will charge you relatively inexpensively, and you're going to make $2,500 to $3,500 for a screening, especially if you throw some merchandise out and
do you actually go through a distributor, or do you kind of self-distribute your stuff?
So I have a small four-walling company that I own. But typically I work with various distributors. Okay. There were guys that I really loved working with back in the day, like before Summit got bought up. There's guys like Level 33 that I now work someone else to, because every small one always gets bought up or goes out of business. But quite often there's good distributors. And the simple rule of thumb with distributors is, if you got a product that they might be halfway interested in, all you got to do is, look at their list on IMDb, contact one of those darn filmmakers and be like, hey, did you ever get any money back from that distributor? And only talk with the ones where the filmmaker said, yeah, we made a couple bucks.
That's the hard part, is trusting them. And
yes,
and it's like
you can't. You got to have a good lawyer. It's not their job to help you. Right. We're actually the person for them to beat up. They're trying to get content as cheap as possible so they can make money like a Walmart.
And that's what I tell a new filmmaker. I'm like, their job is to rip you off. Your job is to not get ripped off. So it's like, you got to really be careful when you're going with these places. It's fucking crazy.
A really great producer once told me, Jonathan Crane, he owned MCG theaters MCG studios back in the day. They're the guys who made Look Who's Talking Now and all that. And right after I gave you this giant build up to say what he told me, I just drew a blank about it. I completely forgot what I was about to say. Maybe I'm higher than I thought when I came on.
Yeah, I've kind of just been sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm learning.
You benched out.
I did.
You just okay.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Oh, sorry about it. Fuck all that build up. It was such a little thing. But he said, we don't make a film for a wide audience. That's the mistake. We make a film for a very small audience, the acquisitions people. Yeah. That's it. And as we started dealing with the distributors, I've learned what he meant. I went out and worked a couple of markets, and went to the Lowe's Hotel and spent stupid money one time, which I'd never, unless you have a lot of money, please don't ever spend 10, 20 grand at some of these damn markets. But anyway, I went to this one thing, and one of the things I found is a lot of distributors don't even listen to the movie beyond the first 2 or 3 minutes. They just want to make sure the audio sounds good. Then they cut it off, and they have these checklists. And this is going to sound racist in some cases, but this is how a lot of them work. They're like, hey, do we have a black character who shows up in this many scenes? If we do, okay, we can market it here. Do we have some person wearing a cowboy hat? Oh, we can mark it here. Do we have some sort of sports scene worked into this anyway? And they have these checklists, and if enough things are checked, they're picking up your movie.
Right. It's all formula based.
Yep.
Even Hollywood is like that. It's Adam Sandler plus Drew Barrymore equals this much money, and it's kind of. I feel like it's kind of taken the creativeness out of things, and it's like nowadays everything you see, especially on Netflix, is they got a white character, black character, Asian character, a gay character, a transgender character. Like they got to include every single possible type of person into the movie, and I don't know, I ain't about it.
Yeah, so watch out for being canceled.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that shit'll go away if everyone jumps off of Twitter.
Yeah,
they won't be able to cancel anybody because you won't have your voice. All these soapbox fucking Karens, they won't have a voice anymore because all the social media shit will be gone, and they won't have enough courage to go say it to somebody's face when they can just fucking Twitter it, and Instagram it, and do all their work from behind. That shit will go away.
Why do you say that?
Because it didn't happen.
It didn't happen before social media.
It didn't happen before because you didn't have a fucking screen to hide behind.
No, I understand that, but why do you think that would go away?
Well, I'm just saying if like Elon Musk keeps going in this direction with Twitter, a lot of people jump at shit. And then I started thinking about Twitter, and I was like, man, I don't even use my Twitter.
I don't either.
I don't use my Twitter. I use Instagram.
I once got kicked off my own Facebook and Instagram for posting my own trailer. They literally gave me a copyright violation 7 days
later. I post some of my own on YouTube, and it's like flagged, and I'm like, I fucking made this. Like, what are you talking about? It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Dude,
got
Elon Musk just canceled fucking what's her name again? The girl, the redhead,
Kathy
the comedian.
Griffin.
Kathy
Oh, yeah?
Griffin kicked her off because she made fun of him.
Well, apparently people are changing their Twitter handles to Elon Musk. So there's all these Elon Musk.
Yeah, and they put parentheses up like that said he allows. If you put the word parody and put parentheses, it's okay. And then you block all those anyway.
Yeah, he's gonna try to become like a dictator.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We got our
I love the video.
Zuckerberg Bar 2.
He just did that big layoff. I don't know if you guys heard this happened yesterday.
I mean, I
He just did that huge layoff where he dumped all those Twitter people.
Right.
And you know how they found out they were fired?
through Twitter.
The new HR woman sent a meme to the people and said, hey, go pack your bags. You're fired. And everyone was like, yo, is this serious? Is that just funny? And she's like, no, you're fired.
I heard he's trying to bring some of them back. And they're kind of like...
After making himself look like an idiot like that, I would hope so.
Yeah, no, fuck him. Fuck you, you fuck.
I mean, but when you have all
Why
the
don't
money,
you and Bezos just go live on the fucking moon?
I know, just go move to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Dumb fucks.
I mean, yes and no. He's a genius, but
Is he?
he's also, well, yeah, he is.
I mean, depending on what you think of PayPal. Because PayPal's the only one that he actually did anything with.
And I never really used PayPal.
That's all I use.
Yeah.
I mean, I love
I use Cash
PayPal,
App.
but that's the only thing you can give him credit for. Every other company he just bought into. It's not like he ran or founded or operated.
Yeah. Not like Bezos. He made a whole company.
Yeah,
He went,
his
I'm going to
garage.
take a package, and I'm going to ship it.
It's not even that. He started selling books in his garage.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's how he started, yeah.
That's what happened.
Because Amazon used to just be books, remember?
Yeah, it was the digital
Yeah,
book
but-
app.
I don't
Just
remember.
books. Yeah, it was just
Which
books.
is a bookstore, yeah.
And then they started doing products, and now it's like this juggernaut.
There was a day when
Yeah,
Walmart
the
was one
shit
store.
to the moon.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Got to start
I
from
mean,
somewhere.
I don't fault people for success. Sometimes I just fault people for certain things they do with that
What
success.
they do afterwards.
Yeah, I'm very proud of
Or
anybody
with
who
that
can
success.
become a billionaire or millionaire. Even Kanye West, but he's a fucking Fruit Loop.
I know.
Oh, my Lord. I don't know what the hell happened at that point,
to
dude.
get to where he was,
Very
man. Out of the
suicide.
ghetto and made millions. He's a billionaire, or was a billionaire. He's still a billionaire. Taking
Well,
months to get back there.
it's not fluid, I don't think. I don't think it's... Now,
Yeah, he never flew it. Had $2 billion. It was the value of the contract he had with the.
Yeah, now he
with
has
the
the
licensing.
contract, so, like,
With anybody.
yeah. So I don't...
Yeah. Most
He
of
may
these
be back
people's
in the
value
news.
is that based on if they sold all the
He's got
stock.
millions of dollars.
It's not like they
Kanye
actually have
West has-
liquid.
it probably-
People actually think I have money. I'm like, I don't have shit. Like,
Yeah, I just
Like, I'll go into a Hooters and be like, I'm sorry, hon, you're making more money than me. Like, I know you just looked me up randomly on IMDb, but that does not mean I have shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Are you auditioning? Not unless you mean applying for a job.
But that's the sad, like, when you look at people's net worth, it's not like it's just their value of like their contracts or what they have in stock.
If you
and stuff
Google
like
Joe Davison's net worth, it says he owes you money, probably.
What's funny, my girlfriend one day she Googled something about me, and
How to get a
all
bigger
these
penis.
stats came up, like who my family is, like all,
Mhm.
and all my family members, all this stuff. And it said my net worth was like $1.8 million. And I was like, I think you got the wrong Chris Lato, because that's
I'm
fucking
gonna
crazy.
Google mine right now.
Like, I think I got like 82 cents in my bank account.
Yeah.
I feel that.
So
I feel that
And that was
so well.
funny. That was like, I don't know where they got that information.
it's
I'm actually doing the same now.
yep. I don't know, but it's what are you gonna do with that? Like that's well, like I said, someone like Kanye and like those contracts, like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving lost everything, like, and I think
These
he
guys
just
can't keep
retired.
their mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. Like, I don't know why all these
Popular.
sports figures got to get into trouble all the
Dude,
time. Man.
this
It's
is a real site.
Well, he said anti-Semitic.
yeah. Shut up.
How tall is Joe Davison? There's a picture of me. This is a fucking site.
That's your picture?
Yeah,
a
that's
picture?
from that's from a lottery commercial I did. Okay, so and then it goes.
So how
Now
tall
we
are
discovered Joe Davison's biography, age, physical stats, dating affairs,
you?
family,
Dating
and career.
affairs.
Learn how rich he is. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at those too. Right now, there's like 4 or 5 different websites, and the variation's amazing.
Yep.
Starting with 15 million,
14th of November. My birthday's coming up. You fuck.
going down to 2 million.
Yep.
And then this one's 1 to 5 million.
Yeah, it's a little rangy. A little bit.
Yeah.
Producer, 46 years old. Nothing's available. I have a wife. Parents not available. Wife, Jory Kehoe, divorced. Nothing about my children. Wow. Net worth in 2020. $1 to $5 million.
Yeah.
And Joe's like,
Yeah.
where is this money?
So I don't know where
Right.
like they get some information that they get. Let's say maybe they just look at stuff like your IMDb and all that stuff and just assume and put.
Well, it's an algorithm they use that they base off random crap, but like the algorithm makes no sense.
I know they're probably like, well, Joe makes like 20 movies a year, so he must have
Right. What's Roger Corman worth? He makes 4,083 a year.
Well,
oh man, I accidentally. So the last time I saw George Romero before he passed on,
yeah,
I accidentally called him the wrong guy, Roger Corman. Made a complete ass out of myself. I was just sitting there too, and it wasn't even just like I called him it. I was like, hey, I directed one of the same people you just directed. He's like, oh really? Who did you direct? I'm like, this Jenna Sims woman. He's like, Jenna Sims. What's she in? Like Killing Messenger, Las Vegas, and all these cool things. And he's like, oh, that's cool. What movie of mine did she do? I'm like, Attack of the 50-Foot Cheerleader. And he looks at me. He's like, yeah, I don't think I did that one. I'm like, are you sure? I know you did. He's like, no. And then it took me 10 seconds. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, that's a face palm right there.
Yeah.
That's when you just turn around and walk away.
Like, oh, shit.
I would have loved to have been able to. I was sitting next to him at the convention. My booth was right next to his.
So all weekend you're like, stuck. Hey, I'm still
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like this asshole over here.
That's funny.
And I was managing a guy by the name of Robert Sadar back then before he passed away. Beautiful man. Goes by Bobby Z. He was like the Maniac Cop and he was Maniac Cop back in the 80s and Face from Tango and Cash. And normally he would joke and be like, you'll get away with anything because I've got this horrible reputation, which was deserved, like you said, in the 80s and 90s, but not anymore. He cleaned himself up, was a great guy. But that day he even looked at me and was like, yeah, I'm not getting you out of that one. Look, respect.
Nice. I just saw Dawn of the Dead in 3D. It was so cool.
Yeah, I saw that. Where was that? Tampa
It was
Theater?
at the Regal. Citrus
Oh,
Park.
nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And actually, they must have added some 3D stuff because there was like glass coming at you, and like they had the one scene where the zombie got shot in the back of his brains came flying at you from the. It was pretty neat, man. Like they did a really good job with the 3D.
Which was this?
Cool. Dawn of the Dead, the original.
Oh. It's still in theaters right now.
Yeah, I think they're still showing it in 3D. But it was pretty
I went and saw it myself.
That was neat.
I just got the box set of Friday the 13th Part 3 3D with the 3D glasses and all that.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
I got
That's
it.
awesome.
Oh, I have that.
Our friend Viper Video in
You got
Tampa,
the
Florida.
whole.
I got the tin case, all of it.
Oh,
I got that
oh.
whole thing, dude.
I mean, I have the 3D and I have the glasses.
Yeah, they just came out with the full box set on Blu-ray of all the Friday the 13th
I have that.
movies plus Freddy vs. Jason. It's in
I have
the
all
box.
Oh.
And it didn't have the 3D. It was.
No,
it didn't make it
but
3D, which
I
was kind of
got
disappointing. I'm like, I
this
spent
is a tin
$150 on
box.
this fucking thing.
Yeah.
If you open it,
Yeah, I've
it's
seen
got
that one.
all the movies and like
Yeah.
an accordion style thing. It's got 2 pairs of 3D glasses, Crystal Lake patch, Camp Counselor patch. It's really cool, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, Shelby got it in a Viper Video and called me.
But yeah, I mean, I spent $150 on the box set, and it didn't have the 3D
I know.
version with the glasses. I was like, what the fuck?
No, not being from your guys' area. Is Viper Video the one that puts on your guys' horror convention every year?
No, Viper Video is a video store in Tampa on Martin Luther King.
I know that. That's where I bought his movie.
Yeah, Shelby McIntyre owns it.
Yeah, Shelby runs it.
Yeah, I remember that now.
He's the owner.
So what movie started it for you, Brad? What movie?
Porky's.
Oh, like got me to love films?
Yeah.
Oh my lord. So my parents were a blessing. They were just like, yeah, we watch anything you want, we don't care. So 3, 4, 5 years old, in the 80s, they'll let me see a horror movie. They'd take me, and I just loved them. I thought they were like cartoons with monsters. I'm like, they're the coolest thing ever. Only one I remember never scaring me, but I remember I think the movie I fell in love with from like a horror perspective, which is still tied for number 1 in my all-time favorite movies list, is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Nice.
That's my daughter's favorite movie.
What's it tied with?
Braveheart.
Ah, okay.
All the way, like, total opposites of the scale.
Yeah.
My top 10 is super weirdly eclectic.
That's
From, like, Super with Rainn Wilson, superhero with just a wrench.
Right.
So,
going back
Birdman.
to what you were saying earlier about don't make a movie for a wide audience, it's because it's impossible to make a movie that everybody likes. Like me personally, I hate fucking Braveheart.
I respect that.
My favorite movie is Pulp Fiction. You like Pulp Fiction?
Hell no.
See, like it's.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
That's the only hell no to Pulp Fiction I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't like Tarantino.
It's so. It's so.
I don't like his films.
Everybody's brains are different, man, and it's just like what gets you off.
I don't like his style. Let's just put it that way. I don't like his style of film. I like Reservoir Dogs. I like that, but I
just don't like the fact he never get like. We can cough wrong and get bitched about. This man can literally worship feet, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that's cool. It's Quentin. Like, it's good."
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I did that in a film, oh my lord, would I hear about it? I would still do it, but I would hear about it.
No. But yeah, like I said, his style, I'm just not a fan. Just like Rob Zombie, I don't really like his style. I don't like his movie.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I enjoyed House of Thousand Corpses, but he was only there. I mean, yeah, he was the director, but like his DP did most of the work.
Yeah, I like the first two movies. He did.
well, I'll correct it. I like his Halloween 1.
Yeah, I like the Halloween.
The Halloween 1 that he did, I actually enjoyed.
But Halloween 2 may be one of the worst
Ever.
of all fucking. Like it's so.
I
bad.
think the Monsters is the worst thing.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that yet, but
Yeah.
Well, Salem, whatever. That was mine.
Yeah, Salem.
I don't even remember what else it was called. The only thing that saved it at all was because they had John Goodman in it.
Which is
And I love John Goodman, but God, it was bad.
for what? Rob
There-
Zombie?
Yeah.
It wasn't called Witches of Salem?
No.
I don't know. I don't watch it.
I think there's really like two types of
Salem.
filmmakers, though. There's that filmmaker who's like,
There's also
I love every movie because the movie got made.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm the greatest filmmaker in the world, so all other movies are trash. And I tend to fall too much on the like, oh, that movie got made. It's amazing,
You know, they were supposed to remake Salem's Lot, and it got shelved with all the WB shit going on.
Well, you guys have to know they're making Crystal Lake the series.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I actually talked
And
to
all
them.
the
like,
poster work
what
has
the
Jason
fuck?
on it. I'm like, that doesn't work. You can't be a prequel
Right.
and have Jason. Like,
Doesn't make any
unless
sense.
it's just him as a kid.
yeah.
I saw Friday the 13th, the original movie, on a DVD, and it had Jason on the front. And I'm like,
Well, I learned a lot about
what's
what's
wrong
happening.
with this movie? Like, what's wrong with this cover?
Right.
I learned
They're like,
a lot
looking
about
at it, I'm
what's
like,
happening
Jason's
with
not
that
in the
show.
movie.
Because Roy went and had dinner at Sean's house 2 nights ago, and I talked to Roy about all of it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you anything on the air,
But
but I learned a lot about what's happening with that show.
with the prequel, I mean, you technically can have it. Just have him growing up and learning his
Right. So
craft.
is the show going to be about his mom and dad and stuff? Like,
I don't know.
I don't give a
Eli?
fuck about
What is
that.
that? His name? Eli, right?
I could care less about that shit.
Well, I'll tell you what. If they keep the Necronomicon in it and keep that canon, I'm all for it. I'll watch anything. Evil Dead, you got me. Like, if it connects the world, I'm sold.
God, imagine if they could connect it to Evil Dead and then Ash versus Jason.
Well,
But
they
he
have a
didn't get
comic book.
he didn't get supernatural until the 6th one.
But I think Ash beat his ass, dude. I
They
think
have a
Ash
comic
wouldn't
book.
even.
Ash
Yeah,
versus
I know.
Jason.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "You're just a dude in a hockey."
Well, they have Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ash would kill all of them. Honestly, his attitude is far irreverent. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He
No,
doesn't-
100% believe he would take care of Jason.
Yeah, he'd
I
fuck
think
Jason
you'd have
up,
to be a
man.
little more. He drinks too much to
It
be
might
Freddy.
take- It might take a little. It might take him a few rounds to figure out Jason.
And we
Like, oh, this
referred
guy's
him to our
fucking
12-year-old
But
self.
because Jason's like a supreme hunter too.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get the drop on Ash.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
I mean, was Ash really tactical?
And when's the last time Jason got shot in the face with a shotgun? Not once.
That's how he died in one of the movies,
I don't
wasn't it?
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, in
Not with a shotgun to the
well, in,
face.
in the one that we all hate, 9.
That doesn't count. That's not a real Jason movie.
Well, true. Well,
Get
he's
the
in the
fuck out of
beginning.
Who gives a fuck?
Technically,
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
10 might not count, but I actually enjoyed 10.
I like 10. I
like
enjoy
10
10.
too.
I like 10.
It's got like one of the best kills in the entire series.
The nitrous?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
man. That
was
show's badass.
Sold.
Like
Yeah.
so, but I like
favorite-
I like how campy it is.
I like 10 for how ridiculous it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it just went so far off. It's like fuck. I love this
My
movie.
daughter loves 4. That's the group camp, right?
No.
The fat kid. eats the chocolate.
That's 5. Roy.
That's 5?
That's 5.
Yeah. My 2 favorite 2.
With the girl who
3 and
breakdances in the
6.
room.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
shit?
it's 5.
That's 5?
That's 5.
Yeah.
I always thought it was 4.
Yeah.
Probably 3 and 6.
Jason's not in that movie either.
No, but it's
Roy.
Roy. But I like
Mhm.
that one. It's a fun one.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be Jason until we realized it's a fucking
Yeah,
fake guy.
it's fraud.
He appears in the very last scene, though, right? Like the real one shows up in the very.
He imagined it. He imagined
Oh,
it.
you imagine it? Yeah.
From
it's
when
been
he
a
was
long
a
time
kid,
since I watched
that's the only time he saw him, and then he like saw him when he was in the hospital.
Wasn't it with her in the fucking hospital? And
No, he's in the
goes out
hospital.
the door? Right.
He's in the
Isn't
hospital.
5 the one with the girl with the really big boobs, and her and her boyfriend are out doing like a picnic in the woods or
Yes.
something?
Yeah.
Yes.
That one's hot.
That's like
dude.
the best.
That's hot.
I know. Those are the best boobs in the whole series.
Yeah. We should break the boobs in Friday the 13th next week.
There you go.
I'm bringing a chart. I'll print them out and have them on a
Okay.
chart.
All right, we'll do that.
That's a good idea.
But yeah, my favorite is
make
6
a
when he
poster.
finally comes back.
Yeah,
That's
I
when he
like
comes.
6 too.
That's my
a
favorite
badass
one. I think because he comes back, he's all supernatural, and then also the best Tommy Jarvis is in that.
Well, on 6, this guy, one of my favorite shots of all of them is when he crashes the RV and he comes and stands on top of the RV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bad. And the fucking shit's on fire and he's just standing on the edge of the RV.
Well,
That's
the
a badass shot.
the backstory about that is the RV had an AC on it that the director and producer wanted to take after the shoot. So the director was like, "Fuck, I'm destroying this shit." So he just fucking destroyed it in spite of the producer that wanted it. So that was because I think the producer fucked him over on something,
Always.
and he was like, "Fuck, he's not getting this shit." So he
So they fucked over a director?
When has that ever happened?
That never happened.
So like I said, I think that was like the best part of it, like just that story. But that was one of my favorite. Actually, that is my favorite Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
But,
my favorite's 3, just because he gets his mask and the spear gun, and it's in 3D. I saw it in 3D when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That one holds.
And I love
That one's a tough one for me to
holds a
pick a
place in my
favorite.
heart.
I really struggle with that. Like without actually doing something that everyone would be pissed off at me for saying, I love Freddy versus Jason. I love crossover.
That's funny. That's fun too.
The only one I really
They have a great
don't
soundtrack
like
to that,
is
too.
9. That's really the
9
only
is
one
terrible.
I don't like. Even Manhattan's got some moments that I'm like, oh,
I mean, I didn't enjoy Manhattan
yeah, Manhattan was not a great movie. They should have called it Jason on a boat.
or
I gotta admit, there was one thing I did really love about Manhattan. I always had this theory when it comes to like monsters and villains. And like if you're an all-powerful monster who doesn't think any human can do shit to you, you're not gonna worry about pulling a Michael Myers and hiding in the shadows all the time. You're gonna walk right down the street and not give a fuck. And I thought that part of Jason Goes Manhattan was brilliant.
Right.
It's actually why I'm the only person in the world that thinks Hellraiser 3 was great. I'm like, yeah, they come to Earth, they walk right down the street. Cops show up, we just kill them. Like, that makes sense to me,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's really the only good part of Jason Takes Manhattan was when he was actually in Manhattan, which was what, like 10 minutes of the movie.
Right. If you took out the shit,
Not
they could
even.
well, the time
Most
that he
of it
was
took
actually
place in the sewer.
well, the only time that they were actually in Manhattan is when he was in Times Square. That was it. And
Right.
everything else was in Vancouver.
Right.
So when he was
Now
actually
you're getting semantic.
no, because that was the only time you actually saw how mighty he was when he was standing in Times Square.
I'm anti-semantic.
But the, most of it took place in the sewer and the boat.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't part, but because they didn't have.
Yeah,
a
I thought the
budget.
boat ride was fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I'm like,
terrible.
Yeah.
I
They
waited
didn't
the
have a-
whole movie for him to get.
They
to
didn't
New
have a
York,
budget.
you know, I'm just
Yeah.
like,
So I'm hoping the.
And they had a boat.
I'm
They had
hoping-
access to the boat. They're like, what we're supposed to do as broke filmmakers, which is, I have a boat.
yeah.
I will make a movie around a boat.
Yeah,
You
we
know?
got a
But
boat,
they
I got a
had
friend
them.
to wear a mask.
But they called that a cruise ship. That was a
Yeah,
freaking
it was like a little.
It was like a
bullshit.
little crab ship.
yeah.
It's like a shrimp boat
Yeah,
or one of those little starlight cruise.
it's a
boats.
it's a coastal shrimp boat that doesn't go more than like 50 miles
Dinner
out.
cruise.
And
boat.
that had a
Yeah.
huge engine bay. Like how many stairs were in that? But like
500 floors in that boat.
it's ridiculous.
That one scene, I think at times the dude went down the stairs like 3 times. I was like, he's at the bottom of the ocean at this point.
Right.
Like I don't understand.
They're like, just keep adding him going down the stairs. Wait, this boat has floors. You can't see them; they're underwater. Like the top is this big, the bottom's like that. It's like, brrr. What are you looking at? Are those titties?
No.
Oh.
I wish they were.
That'd be the only thing that was acceptable.
Yeah.
The answer always is titties.
Right.
What do you look at?
Leave me
Titties.
alone.
Look at a Land Rover. Anyway, they sent me a message.
Red Rover sent some fucking titties right over.
That's actually one of the reasons why I was actually geeked when he invited me on the show. I'm like, finally, someone who actually puts boobs in the movie. I'm not the only one being ostracized for it. You know?
Oh man, just wait, guys.
Half the podcasts I've been on, I have to like defend my exploitation. You know, and I'm just like, I grew up watching 80s horror. I love 80s horror.
Yeah.
There's nudity, and I'm like, I put dudes in there too.
It's funny. Our formula is you have to have a nude scene or gore every 10 minutes.
I respect that.
You gotta.
Yeah.
That's the action rule, right? One action scene every 10 minutes for an action movie,
Right?
Or 8 minutes, sorry.
So it's
Is
like
it
nobody
that
wants
quick?
to watch an indie movie where people are just sitting there talking.
You don't want
It's
to
fucking
watch
boring.
like Zach and Mary's playlist or
I
Shoe and Blossom.
actually like Zack and Mary's. Makes it fun though.
Yeah.
I
that
actually
wasn't
like that one too.
Or you kind of
But that was
combine
$10
Nick
million.
and Norris.
He didn't have that wasn't the
Yeah.
indie.
So do you
Yeah, what's
enjoy
that,
like
10?
elevated horror?
You know, gosh, this will get me shot too. If it's the right elevation, like for instance, and maybe I'll probably offend some people in this room, but like Witch didn't do it for me. I felt like I was robbed of like an hour and a half of my life. Nothing happened. There was a goat. Cinematography was pretty. But like if elevated horror means intelligent horror, but there's shit actually happening, then yes, 100%.
Yeah. What was the one with that was in like Poland or whatever? Like she's
Let the right one in. The
no,
vampire.
No, the cult one. The cult one with the girl from
Oh, Midsommar.
Midsommar.
Oh yeah, lots of nudity. Had
Yeah.
that going for it.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
So I made the mistake of watching that really high during a 12 a.m. showing.
Like you totally don't have to be high to watch that movie and like hallucinate.
Yeah.
That movie
Yeah, I can't give a fair argument to it because when people would first ask me, I'm like, I can't defend it. I can't talk great about it. I want to, but I don't. Okay, let me rewind. I went to Popcorn Fright Fest and saw Terrifier 2, right?
Okay.
2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
I fell asleep like 8 times when I first went and saw Terrifier 2. I couldn't stay up for it.
Yeah.
But then I went and saw it again, and I actually made it through. I'm like, oh, this isn't bad. I enjoyed this. So I feel like Midsommar is a movie I have to see again because the only respectable feature I got otherwise was the fact, there's a lot of nudity. Makes me feel good as a filmmaker.
Did you like Hereditary? Same.
No.
I wasn't a
Yeah,
fan
I
of it either.
I loved Hereditary. Like Hereditary to me was so fucking disturbing that I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
Like it was so creepy. Me and Sean both said the same thing. We went and saw it together and walked out and we were like, I don't think I'll ever watch that ever again. Like it was
No shit.
What was this?
Hereditary.
I didn't like the flow of it. I didn't like the direction it was going. I just didn't hit any like a lot of my boxes. Like I just didn't.
For me, I think I gave up on it too quick.
Wow.
I had already seen Witch. And Witch for me is like, oh no, another slow burn.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go through another slow burn.
Yeah.
So like partway in, I was already like, shit, that crap's happening. And I feel bad because now I'm being like the negative guy about movies. I'm normally this guy, man, I love all horror, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, did you know James Gunn made Slither? You have to see Slither, like I'm always talking about like the most goofy random horror that I think's brilliant. And then I'm like heartbroken when I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm stuck here talking about, these ones I don't like. And there's so few. Like usually I can find something redeeming like Malignant, which came out, a couple years ago. I was like, can't be as shit. I think it's kind of brilliant because it knew it was bad and embraced it.
It was awesome. I loved
It's on
it.
Netflix,
I thought it was great. It got a lot of hate because it was so like ridiculous, but I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. I laughed so many times. I went and saw it in the theater with a dog. And the dog enjoyed it.
Yeah, I went with my son.
Like the dog was more behaved than the rest of us.
What the fuck is going on?
The dog literally sat in the chair like the whole time. He got up once for like 10 seconds, got back in the chair, and kept watching.
Yeah,
Well, all right. He can watch this.
This is Hereditary?
Malignant.
Malignant.
James
So,
Wan.
what were your thoughts on Halloween Ends?
Ugh.
Oh, goodness. I like the fact that they wanted to be different.
Yes.
I enjoyed that fact. but you have a great character. Michael Myers is a legend and deserved to be sent off like a legend. You gave us all these trailers where you had the two great climactic characters finally battling off in this one, gory, bloody scene, and then you get to the show and you're like, who's this jackass again? Like, why is this about him?
Yeah.
And then Michael was such a bitch, but what really hurt me on this film, and I still like it, but what really hurt me on it is like the marching band kids are the bullies. You're bigger than this dude, and the marching band dudes are kicking your ass. I don't get it. I didn't grasp that. I'm like, no offense to anyone in the marching band. But I'm like, come on. Like, if you would have at least made him a jock and been like, well, he's big, he's strong, but no.
Yeah.
So the kid who got his ass kicked by a marching band dude beat Michael Myers' ass.
I think they were emphasizing the outcast that he was. Like, no one liked him, even the marching band didn't like him.
That's fine, but nobody cared.
Well, true. I'm not arguing that.
Like, if they took Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis completely out of the movie, it probably would have been okay. If it was some other random movie, it probably would have been all right. But now everybody's going to see Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis beat the shit out of each other for an hour and a half, and we got it for like 5 minutes? Not even
one scene.
I don't even think that end scene was like 3 minutes long, maybe.
No, and it wasn't even like a hardcore scene. She somehow knocked him down on a table and puts a knife in him to hold him there, and like, hey, I beat him. Fuck, this is Michael Myers,
But they're trying to go. I think they're trying to go the way John Carpenter first envisioned Halloween. They were going to make the first two Michael Myers, and then they were going to go and have different stories for all.
I always heard it slightly different. I always heard it that they intended to make one, but made so much content that they wound up editing and reshooting to have a second.
Yeah. And
then they made Halloween 3, and they're like, oh shit, we screwed this up by having 2.
Yeah. Well, they waited long for the second one because, when she actually started, she had to put a wig on because she'd already done a bunch of other roles before, they started shooting again for the Halloween 2. So, she had to get a wig. She cut her hair. It was colored her hair, and the wig looked so bad in Halloween 2. But, they got it done. I guess it was by Mustafa Akkad. I think that they were just like, hey, we got to put another one out. This made so much money.
Because originally they were supposed to make a bunch of different movies that take place on Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Michael Myers was so popular that they made part 2, and they were like, all right, that's it. We're going to kill him off, and then we'll do with the original plan.
Yeah.
And then Season of the Witch came out.
It was a good movie. If it wasn't Halloween,
it was a good movie, but it was bad because everybody expected to see Michael Myers.
Yeah, they came showing up for Michael Myers and didn't show up.
And I think that's kind of what they're trying to do with this new one, because if you notice, in Season of the Witch, when they show the word Halloween, it's in blue, where all the other movies it's in orange. And Halloween Ends, they showed Halloween Ends, and it was in blue. So that kind of gave me an idea, all right. Maybe they're fucking trying to do this thing again, and that's why.
Well, he already openly said, if it makes enough money, I'm making another movie.
Yeah, well, yeah. And it's not going to have anything to do with Michael Myers. So it's Michael Myers is completely dead now. They threw him in
but you got the damn kid.
Turn it into a series for Netflix or
Hulu. Exactly. Why don't they do that?
Halloween, the series.
Right. Halloween, the series.
An anthology
a bunch
of stories
of
like American Horror Story.
Yeah, that would be good.
Which any of us could actually do because Halloween isn't able to be trademarked.
Right.
Yeah. Halloween.
Very true.
Stories.
Well, that's how Troll 2 came to be, remember?
Let's not.
He said, let's not.
You know what? Well, with that being said, thank you for joining us in Killer Collab Podcast. Bradley
My
O'Brien,
pleasure.
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Brad.
Chris Lato, Joe Davidson, my name is Tony D. Thank you again. See you next week. See ya.
Bye. Goodbye.